Hello and welcome to another movie roast. I'm your host Scott, and you can find me on Twitter at XHorseandX, and I'm here with Mike. You can find on Twitter at Review and Roast. You can find our Facebook at facebook.com/Review and Roast, and all of our podcasts at podcast.com.
Yep.
At comicroast.com. Today we are here to talk to you about a little movie called Ant-Man and the Wasp. No, not funny.
Oh.
So apparently I'm not funny, but let's talk about this movie. As Scott Lang balances being both a superhero and a father, Hope Van Dyke and Dr. Hank Pym present an urgent new mission that finds the Ant-Man fighting alongside the Wasp to uncover secrets from their past.
I feel like that's
I feel like,
it should be as Scott Lang balances being a convict and a father.
Right.
To be
Being
honest.
on house arrest.
Yeah. Being an inmate in his own home.
Yeah. It also makes the movie sound, I don't want to say more exciting, but like a pressing mission to like save the universe when it's really just Hank Pym trying to find his wife that he lost 30 years ago when she went
Yeah, so the gist of it is
quantum. She went plaid.
right. So the gist of it is after the whole Civil War thing, Scott has been under house arrest for a couple of years. That's sort of the explanation of where he's been during Infinity War and what have you. And in the meantime, that also put Hank and Hope, the Wasp, put them also in the same category as Scott because they used Paul Rudd is using Dr. Pym's suit, so therefore he's guilty by association. So they've been on the run for 2 years, Hope and Pym. So in that time, they decided, Michael Douglas, Pym decided, if he came back from the quantum realm, she can come back from the quantum realm. So that's where the mission all starts up and all this stuff. So it's a pretty good way to have him have been removed from the picture and now back into the picture, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, for the most part. Although, with house arrest possibly being over after this movie, there's still the 3 years of probation that come after it. So
Right, yeah, I mean, you can still do stuff. I mean, you can leave.
You can leave.
So that's good news.
But it's pretty easy to spot the 10-story Ant-Man.
Yeah, but can't actually prove it if he doesn't take his helmet off. Could be anybody.
This is true as well. It's probably me.
Anonymity. Anyways, so that's where the movie kind of kicks off with Scott Lang hanging out with his kid at his house on house arrest. His relationship with his ex-wife and her husband is now, let's say, mended because they know he's a hero, blah, blah, blah. So everyone's kind of happy together, even though he's on house arrest. He's bored out of his mind, trying to entertain his kid.
Pretty well job of that.
The whole they do a little bit of magic in this, and by magic I mean like card tricks, not Doctor Strange, and it's actually pretty funny. A lot of the scenes are there's a lot of good comedy in this where you almost don't see it coming. I mean, you know the players, but
I was talking about like the man-made like ant tunnel with the slide going down the stairs and stuff.
Oh, he's got nothing but time and opportunity.
Yeah,
at
right.
the house.
Well, plus he's still running
they started the new security business.
And he's kind of running things, but he's got to run it from the house while everyone else is at the office.
Right, correct. Yep.
Yeah, sipping my coffee. Hold on. So yeah, basically, I mean that's about the gist of it. But then you learn that a couple of Hank Pym's old associates / partners, because they go to one of them for help, who turns out to is Lawrence Fishburne, who's just fucking awesome.
Man, you just skipped like the last third of the movie.
Not really. They went to him.
Not really.
Well, I was leading that up to
First they go to Birch, played by Goggins.
Well, yeah, but they're not old associates. He's just a black market parts dealer, I guess you could say, for and they've been getting the parts to build their machine to open the gates to the quantum world to look for his wife, etc., etc. But that was where I was kind of going with this was, you learn then when they finally go to meet him for the final part that there's another player in the game, played by Hannah John Kamen, and it is Ava / the Ghost, or just Ghost. They don't
Right, but
actually
she
say
shows up
the Ghost.
during the first
Right,
meeting
she
in
shows.
Birch.
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, I was going to explain where she came from first, but it doesn't matter. She basically can phase in and out, I guess, of a quantum state, maybe.
Yeah.
So when people go to punch her or shoot her,
she's quantum entangled from her exposure to a quantum machines experiment gone wrong.
Yes, from one of his old colleagues.
Right, a different one.
Right,
Not Lawrence Fishburne.
Right.
Which was something that I didn't catch right away, because they didn't really do a great job of explaining whose dad was his dad, her dad. You know what I mean?
Well, when
they first started throwing stuff around, she just kept saying "my father" and hanging out with Lawrence Fishburne, which made it very seemingly that he was protecting his own daughter, but he's not. He's protecting another person's daughter.
Right.
For lack of a better way to put it. And on top of that, like I mentioned to you, I'm not sure if this my late 1980s Iron Man is a little rusty, but I'm not sure if this Ghost is supposed to be related to his common enemy Ghost from back then. And I don't know how much Ant-Man crossover, because to be honest, I haven't read a lot of Ant-Man books. So I'm interested to know if they're one and the same Ghost. The properties are very similar, because that's exactly what the Iron Man's enemy Ghost does.
Sounds like it's probably the same then.
Yeah, it's mostly, and it actually looks very similar, like kind of a gray
that
suit.
is dope.
No, yeah, the suit's obviously better than the one they drew in the night. Actually, the one from the 80s, I do have a couple comics I know that he's on the cover fighting Iron Man with. I'll grab them because it's actually she looks amazing. The suit's super cool. So yeah.
Well, what threw me the most was, as much as I liked the first Ant-Man movie, I haven't really watched it since we saw it in the theater, because for some reason, I don't own it. And it's like, I don't have cable, so it's like it's never on TV, and I just never got around to getting it. Well, it doesn't matter. But I have been following most of the Ant-Man comics for the last couple of years, and in the comics, his daughter is a teenager. Mm-hmm. And it just totally just caught me off guard a little bit when the movie started and he's hanging out with like a 7-year-old. I was like, wait a minute, like that.
Yeah, but in the first movie, she's still young too.
I know, but I don't remember. You know what I mean? Because in the comics, like, she's older, and like one of his enemies like literally kidnapped her and like did heart surgery on her to save himself, and they had to like save her life, kind of. So it's just, that to me is a more interesting storyline than, hey, we're all shooting for the same thing, but let's fight each other anyway. Like this movie kind of was.
Yeah.
Which was kind of my biggest, I don't want to say issue, because the movie was good.
Yeah, but I mean, you're hung up on it, and like every movie could literally be solved in the beginning by a simple conversation. I mean,
not every movie, but
Justice League, Batman vs Superman.
Well, that once they found out they had the mother shared name.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, almost every Marvel movie, you know what I'm saying? Like Civil War.
Yeah, you're not going to sit down and have a conversation with Thanos. You know what I mean?
I get it. I didn't say Infinity War. I said Civil War. My point being that 80% of any movie could literally be, let's work it out. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I feel like this one was more blatant, though, because like literally Hank's trying to get to the quantum world, and Ghost is trying to...
Yeah, but he never told her that he could
know.
possibly fix her, and she doesn't really give a shit.
Right,
because
but
she just wants to steal
Mr. Fishburne
quantum energy.
Did say they could probably fix you because she's brilliant.
Right, but
and she's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
let's go kidnap the kid.
Because she couldn't... At that point, she knows... At that point, it's too late. You know what I mean? At that point, she's got days left now.
Yeah, exactly.
On the
well,
time
I mean, I get it.
So
I get it.
So I mean, yeah, I guess, but realistically, if every there's just too many plots that could be solved by let's work it out. You know what I mean?
I know.
There really is.
I'm just saying.
And you can't have Goggins. I mean, you could. I get your point about maybe having him like a Claw type character, but it wouldn't be as exciting. You know what I mean? It's only exciting to have crime bosses as the enemy in like street level shit. like Luke Cage and Daredevil and stuff like that. To me, I don't think they're ever going to do that in a big screen movie.
Oh, you never know.
Have a villain be not something.
Right.
You know?
No, I get that. So anywho, back to I guess some of the main stuff of the movie. One of the coolest parts about the first one was all like the miniature battles and stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
Where they're fighting in the kids' room and they're throwing around they're Hot Wheels, but they're throwing around cars. But then they pan out and you see a little Hot Wheels go rolling
Blink.
across the floor or whatever. Yeah. So in this movie, in order to
There's
elude,
nowhere near that.
They don't do it nowhere near as much. But in order to elude the FBI, Hank Pym and Hope use the Pym technology for everything. Like literally, their office building, they shrink it down. He pulls it out, and it's on wheels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they have a Hot Wheels.
Yeah, the big air duct on the top actually pulls out as a luggage dragger.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then like all the miniature cars that have the lever inside, they go from small to big.
Right.
That was super creative, I think.
And they didn't have a mini enemy in this one, so you couldn't get those sweet mini scenes.
Yeah.
But I think they made a great use of going large and going small quickly during battle.
With the Wasp, yes.
Yeah, I mean, she was, There's the one scene where she's in the car, she jumps out the window, goes big or whatever, then kicks the glass in as she's going small to they really did a really good job of the creativeness of the fight scenes where you're able to go large, go small, and when the two of them fought together, there was the effects and action sequences were actually, I think, better than the first movie. The first movie, they were, I'll say, funnier.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way either. They were just more funny, more funnier. But
either way,
in this one, it was a lot more action packed.
Yes, the fighting was way better in this one. The only thing that really kind of, I don't want to say annoyed, but to me it was a little bit lame that, you got the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. And the Wasp did majority of the shit because Ant-Man's suit was a prototype that malfunctioned literally every time he needed to use it, which kind of got old after a while.
Yeah, after a couple of minutes. But it did lead to one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Well, that depends which one.
When they went to the school and he got stuck in medium size.
Okay, yeah, that was funny. But that's like I don't want to say gimmicky, but that's like the shirt cock from Deadpool 2. It was funny, but but yeah, no, that was here's a lost and found.
Yeah, no, it was but I think the whole point was to get her more front and center.
I hope because I really hope they use her more.
In the comics, the Wasp is actually a more important figure than Ant-Man half the time. You know what I mean? She's more of a general leader, blah blah blah. So who really cares? But I think they just really wanted to push her, not push her, but she's good too. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing too. You can kind of tell too because even in the movie, Scott Lang he's good at what he does, but he's a complete goofball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas Hope / the Wasp she's more serious.
She's normally all business.
Yeah, which kind of would put
and
her.
He's
in
more like, we'll probably be all right. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, right.
And
should we talk about some little Michael Pena action?
Oh, I mean, if you even so there's two ways you can look at this. If in the first Ant-Man Michael Pena annoyed you, you're going to probably hate every scene he's in this movie. If in the first movie Michael Pena you found him hilarious, every scene he's in this movie is going to be the best scene you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
pretty
fair to say.
Yeah.
Either you probably love him or hate him. I actually love the dude, and he is out of control hilarious in this one. So, just a real quick teaser of it. So, story time with Michael Pena. This time he gets hit with the truth serum. So I don't even think I need to really explain it.
It's not a truth serum.
Yeah, right. Well, they'll get to that too. But he gets hit with it, and he gets to gabbing, and it's honestly I thought it was funnier than the first one by a lot. Every scene he was in, I thought was funnier than the first one by a lot.
Yeah.
So we can just leave it there if we want. I couldn't even recreate the stories if I wanted to. I was too busy laughing half the time.
Yeah. No, he was he crushed it as
and just regular, even in scenes where he's not storytelling with Pena or Luis, but even just regular scenes that he's in, just conversationally with other characters that, there's real stuff going on right now, and this guy's like, yeah, like, but what about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just, he was just so funny and naive throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, excited by like a kid in a candy store.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, it was really good.
Well, because while mainly, him and Scott Lang are partners in their business, and with Scott being
technically
Luis
is the boss.
Yeah,
I guess.
Luis is the one running the show from the office, and he's the one, I guess you could say, in the trenches.
Yeah.
So he's trying to keep
Luis
this
is like the
business above water. And
runner, and Scott Lang's the brains.
who told you to get sugar?
Yeah. Oh, dude, they bring out like a box of half-eaten Entenmann's. He's like, whoa, with the fancy cakes. Why you bring out the fancy pastries?
Let's see. Whatever.
Yeah, no, there was so much stuff. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. Yet again, I love the fact. Well, all right. So, real quick, speaking of Thanos in the Infinity War, this isn't as much of an Infinity War counterpart as all the Facebook posts and all the stuff would suggest it to be. So they don't allude to Infinity War until the very end of the movie.
Right.
So it's not that this has happened. This Infinity War did not happen before this movie.
They're happening at the same time.
They're coinciding, basically. Right. Correct. So that's all we can leave it there. Another good thing is, yet again, they didn't. Never mind. I don't know if I should. I don't know. Can we spoil it?
Hint. What are you trying to get at here?
Ghost didn't die.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, people didn't. I don't think anyone really thought she would.
Why? They kill every villain ever.
She's not super duper like a villain, though. She's just.
No, she's a villain. Like, straight up.
Well, not really. Because she even explained she got her start as an assassin.
But she did so much
for
stuff
the fucking government,
that they're not going to, like, just
I mean?
let her go. You know what I'm saying?
She did a lot of
anyways,
stuff,
the point
man.
is,
She'll just phase right out of
a
that
lot of
shit.
people say Killmonger wasn't the bad guy either. But there you go.
A lot of people say
you know what I mean?
a lot of people say Danielson is the bad guy, and I agree. He is.
He's a piece of shit. Anyways, the point being is that I don't know if they've been listening to our podcast or not, and finally decided to stop killing everybody off. But it's about time. Obviously they weren't going to kill Thanos because we need part 2. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the occasional we got to get rid of some baddies or whatever. But
Lock him up.
in the comics. The Mandarin's been alive for 82 years. You know what I mean? We don't have to kill everybody in every movie.
In the movie, the Mandarin was almost made into a joke.
Well, I know that. But what I'm saying is, Killmonger, who was a fantastic villain, is now no longer available to you.
Yeah.
That was a poor choice. Look what they did with Loki by not killing him right away. Actually, they did kill him. Brought him back, but whatever. You know what I mean? You were able to utilize these bad guys quite often.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, a lot of times, man, there's a lot of like the enemy of my enemy.
Yeah.
So
well, here's the thing, dude. The Batman's been fighting the Joker for fucking 100 years. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, bringing in people like Walton Goggins to play like just your average bad guy, yeah, that's great. But you don't need Thor to take down fucking Al Capone. You know what I mean?
No, I know. Yeah, they need to. Again, you could keep these guys going a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. I think that you hit that gold with these bad guys, and it's you can utilize them again in any movie. They could just, even as a couple-minute cameo in 2 scenes or something, just setting something up. I mean, there's a million things you can do if you don't kill off every guy every time. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Well, and there's also and I keep hearing mixed things, so who fucking really knows? But you keep hearing that Downey Jr. is done after Infinity War. You know what I mean? He's not playing Iron Man no more. So you hear that like their storyline is really just going to run out Infinity War, and then it's just going to be done. And then they're probably going to start a whole new like set of stories. So where does that leave some of the people? Where does that leave the Wasp? You literally just brought her into the show. What is she going to be in Infinity War 2, and then you're going to cut it off?
Well, they're not going to stop they're not stopping that. I just think they're not using Tony Stark as Iron Man anymore. I think is going to be the thing.
Think so?
That's what I would say. I don't think they're going to like reboot the franchise. I think they're just going to be done with Iron Man. In the Tony Stark sense of the word. There's been other people that have played Iron Man. They can still use Don Cheadle as, or they can use anybody, I guess, as War Machine.
No offense to Don Cheadle. I like the guy, but the other guy.
I mean, but both Thor, Captain, Iron Man, different people have played that role in the comics multiple times.
Right.
So they could easily bring in a new Thor.
They could bring in Lady Thor.
They can easily bring in a new Captain.
That would be awesome because...
Well, what they should do is switch Falcon to Captain because that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That would be dope. And Iron Man...
See, but he's old and he's like half paralyzed, isn't he?
Who? No, that's not Cheadle.
Yeah.
It's the one that got his legs broke.
Oh, Falcon. Right,
Yep.
right. Never mind.
So, anyways, my point being is there's also an infinite amount of other people they can bring in anyways.
Yeah.
Hero-wise that Marvel owns and not Sony, I guess.
Right.
So,
yeah.
There's just lots of things that they can do. So I would, although Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man have been my favorite, I wouldn't be disappointed. I actually was disappointed they didn't kill him in Infinity War, to be honest, because I thought that would have been a fantastic end.
It's not over yet.
No, I mean with the whole scene in Infinity War where he went toe to toe with Thanos and like earned the respect of Thanos. Like I was like, all right, that was tough enough, man. You did a good job. You had a good run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was badass.
Yeah.
Like if he would have just died like a bitch, I'd have been pissed. But to die, if that would have been his last scene, I would have been like, all right, you guys did him all right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I would have been pretty happy. Like I'm getting all emotional about it now.
Pour one out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, anyways, the point being is that eventually they're gonna have to. But I would love them to not reboot it. I would love them to just move on from the character to the next character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. I don't want to see another Stark, Tony Stark, that is. So that's what I would prefer. Same with some of those other characters. Like they're all like, oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Sony's just been rebooting the shit out of X-Men and Wolverine and stuff. So I guess whatever at this point. But I why can't we just have X-23 play Wolverine like she does right now? It'd be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so many characters, there's more room to explore. And then, hey, we want diversity in our movies. Well, bring Lady Thor. Bring the black chick that plays Iron Man. You know what I'm saying?
Bring in all the new Green Lanterns.
The new X-Wing. The new Wolverine is X-23. Why? Like, bring it on, man. Like, I'd be 100% fine with that.
You know what the problem with that is, though, is they're afraid of all the backlash from the people who don't read the comics and have no idea about Jane Foster and no idea
Yeah, but they wouldn't
about
know.
X-23.
They wouldn't know nothing anyway. So
you can't take Iron Man and just make it a fucking woman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I just think that it would be. They didn't know who Tony Stark was before that, anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right?
So,
yeah. No, I know. I agree, but what do I know?
Yeah. So I'm into it. Anyways, let's.
Yeah. Speaking of
wrap it
Ant-Man. All right, so we all know that there was quite a few things I can't get past, and I get annoyed with this movie. Is there anything you didn't like?
Actually, not really. I mean, I agree that like the amount of bickering that could have been solved by a couple of conversations, but when you're in the thick of kung fu, you don't have time for chit chat. It's
Right.
not like hey, you just punched me in the face. I think we should talk about this.
Right.
So honestly, I was hoping for a bit more of the Infinity War tie-in than we got, but honestly, I was
fine with that.
I don't think there's anything that's gonna really damage my number. I mean, I like this movie a lot, and I'm gonna give it a high score. Probably.
I think basically with the whole reference to Infinity War, it kind of just.
I think they did it right
because the guy's been under house arrest for 3 years. He don't know what's going on out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like they put everything on the news.
He's not in contact with all these people by federal
court order.
Yeah, court order. He can't talk to these people. I know he wants to talk to Cap. Because when you're friends with him, you call him Cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
But I mean, they've all been trying to, like, you figure he's been under house arrest, going bored out of his mind, trying to entertain his daughter within the confines of his house, and Hank and Hope are just running around trying not to get busted while they try to figure out a way to get to the quantum realm to save their mother/wife.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for them to not be aware of Infinity War kind of made enough sense to me to where it didn't bother me at all.
Well, I feel like, obviously Janet didn't know, but I feel like Pym and those guys probably know something's going on. But again, they don't care about anything else that's going on right now.
Yeah, right. If I had a chance to save my wife after 30 years, I'd be like, that'd probably be tip-top on my brain too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so you want me to hit you with it, or are you going to hit it?
Go ahead.
I'm honestly... it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'll definitely see it again. Probably buy it. 7.5.
Jeez. Yeah, I actually liked it a lot more than that, and I'm going to give it a 9.
Wow, nice.
Wow, it was really good. You just hate.
I just got hung up on a few things, and who knows? Maybe watch it a few more times, and I won't care so much. But
yeah, but I think you're rating it on one point of the plot line, which is
no, it's not just that. But
well, explain then. That's the only thing you explained that you didn't.
Well,
like.
there was the whole, like, there's no explanation about how she survived in the quantum realm for whatever. She came out looking like she just left the store with makeup on and shit.
Yeah,
like,
first of all, it's quantum mechanics, which you don't understand.
This is not true.
That is true. It's extremely true. No, the point being, yeah, like, of course, she survived on quantum energy. That's basically the illusion that they give you, because she's now charged with quantum particles.
Right.
So she has a different set of powers. I actually really loved the whole Michelle Pfeiffer thing. So
I liked it. I just
that actually
was looking
like
for more
helped it
explanation,
from.
I guess.
Yeah, well, we don't have time for all this shit in an hour 50. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, we're busy. You want
Busy.
Yeah, conversations don't sell as many tickets as Ant-Man turning 85 feet and smashing boats and shit. You know what I mean?
Hey.
It's true. Shh. What? It's in the preview, dildo.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have previews.
Yeah, you should. So, anyways, that's that. 7.5 and a 9. Go see it. It's good.
Yes, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And don't forget to head to reviewandroast.com after you see it to rate it for yourself. And, yes, find all of our other reviews at reviewandroast.com, all of our podcasts at comicroast.com, and all of our just rando information at facebook.com/reviewandroast.